I'm here with the great Hans to talk about Feuerschwanz celebrating their 20th anniversary with
Right.
Warriors out May 3rd on Napalm Records. I'm going to admit, I wasn't sure where this was going to go because I love your stuff in German. And I was like, oh, I hope they're not going to cheapen these songs by making them in English. I prefer my German stuff. And then I listened to it, and I think this is going to be one of my favorite albums of the year.
Oh, wow, really? Wow, that's awesome.
I
Thank
was
you.
like, wow, this is amazing. I absolutely love the record. I'm addicted to it. I think on the first day that I got the promo, I think I listened to it like 6 or 7 times in a row.
Oh, really? Wow, that's crazy.
It made my day at work a lot better. Let me tell you
Thank
that.
you. I mean, it was quite a challenge for us to switch to English because everybody's obviously used to the songs in German, and I think it makes us stand out in a way as well, singing in German. So doing those English songs, we weren't sure where this was going. So hearing this from you, from a native speaker, it's thank you. So
Yeah, because the reason I really like, I mean, one of the many reasons I really like your music is the fact that when you're singing in German, there's a little bit more authenticity to what you're doing. It feels natural. It the songs have their own character, and I was afraid that you guys were going to lose that when you're changing it into English. But what you did was you made the songs feel very Hollywood. Like
mhm.
suddenly these tracks are like soundtracks from Hollywood movies, which I loved it.
Cool, nice.
And some of the songs I'll tell you, I was listening to the track, I'm like, I know this song, but which song is this? So it's like because you guys did such a phenomenal job giving it almost their own character.
You're right. But I think that's what you have to do because you just can't translate word by word. Well, I didn't do it. I'm just a guitar player. Most of the work was done by Ben, by Hody. And yeah, obviously you can't just take it and translate word by word. This doesn't make sense. So you have to capture the feeling somehow and translate the feeling and bring the feeling to the English, to the different language, which maybe sometimes alters the meaning a little bit, but it's a completely different language with completely different sound and feel, you know. And some stuff which would work in English very well, if you translate it to German, it would sound super silly and the other way around. So it's yeah, it's quite a challenge, and but I really like the outcome as well. Some of the songs sound super epic, I think,
Amazing.
like the Forgotten Commandment. I wasn't sure about that song at the beginning if that will work out, but it's one of my favorites now on the English album.
My favorite is Circle Pit of Hell.
Oh, really? Okay, nice.
And I was like, I don't remember you guys having a Circle Pit of Hell song. So I was like, but I know I've heard this song because the melody is the same. So I'm like, I know I've heard this, but how did they translate it? And then I went and I listened to the original, and I went back and forth between the two. I thought you guys did a phenomenal job, like capturing the essence of the original, but now changing it to a more approachable song in English where we can understand what you're trying to say with the lyrics.
Mhm.
I thought that was such an incredible job on that track.
Awesome. Thank you
Every
so
time I
much.
listen to the album, I stop on Circle Pit of Hell and I listen to it at least 4 times before I move on to the next one. That's how
Yeah,
much I how much I
but
like it.
but but that's a quite a good example of how the translation went because the original is Knochenkarussell is like a bone carousel, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and bone carousel sounds weird, so it's a circle pit of hell, the bone castle, you know.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah.
way.
The melody stays kind of the same. It's just the words don't mean the same thing, and that's what caught me
Mhm.
off guard because I'm like, I don't think they ever written a song about Circle Pit of Hell. So I'm like, where is this coming from? Anyways, 20th anniversary of the band. When you look back at these 2 decades, what stands out in your mind as some of the most important moments that allow you to be here today celebrating 20 years of the band?
I think one moment is when we started playing on medieval markets, like with mainly acoustic instruments, playing 4 times a day, like Renaissance fairs, basically. I think you call them,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was a big. Sometimes I really hated it, playing, but it was a big uh, gaining experience as a band and learning how to play on a stage often and a lot, because these opportunities are they're dying out. Clubs are dying out, so there are not many opportunities anymore for small bands to grow, to learn how to play live and how to interact with the audience and stuff like that. I think that played a main role in the development of the band, even though the music was completely different back then. And another milestone maybe was during the lockdowns when we did our online shows, our live streams, because we kept on going. We didn't hide and complained about the bad world or everything. We just did our thing, and I thought that helped the band a lot to start grow. And for some reason, das 11. Gebot, the album was like the starting point to where we are now.
Yeah, from my perspective, like I discover you guys, somebody requested us to check out one of your videos like a long time ago. And when we first checked out you guys, it really felt like a niche band. Like not even Europeans didn't know, not too many people knew the band. Now everybody knows the band. Like the growth of the band has been incredible over the last couple of records. And the last couple of records, I don't know from your perspective, but from mine, they've been super successful.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. But the thing is, yourself, you don't change, you know. You still, because what we do, to us, it's like just one step after the other. We never went from 0 to 100, you know. It's always like a next step. So none of the steps feel big, but if you look back from where we are coming from, it's huge. And sometimes when we look at the festivals like Wacken or something at the lineup, we start looking on the bottom, and then we realize we're not at the bottom, we're up there, and then okay, then you realize something has changed, because we as people and as a band, you know, we don't really change, but the surrounding the change. All of a sudden, we have a big truck with equipment when we go on a tour. Like a couple of years ago, we just had a van with 9 seats and stuff like that. You know, that's sometimes it's really crazy to see, and yeah.
So when you guys had this idea to do something to celebrate the 20-year anniversary, was an English album, was that the first idea? Was that like, that's what we need to do next?
Well, I don't know if it was the first idea, but we thought about we have to do something in our anniversary year, but we can't put out another original album. And it's like 9 months after the last original album. We can't write songs in that quality so fast. Like we do it quite fast, but not that fast, actually, I think. So, yeah. So we were brainstorming, and I don't know who had the idea, but yes, suddenly the idea was born doing English songs. Yeah. And and it had to grow a little bit on us to do it, because it's a big step, you know. But I think it might be a good idea for people to discover Feuerschwanz, like they're coming for the English songs, but stay for the German songs in the end. So we have to see how that works out. But yeah, so we are super excited
Are you
about it.
hoping that that this album being in English maybe will open some doors in those other markets where English is the main language, or even markets where English is not the main language, but obviously more people listen to music in English than they do in German?
Yeah, maybe. Well, I don't know. I think it might open up to some people for people to see what we are about, what we are singing about, what the lyrics are about, because not many people are going to translate our German lyrics if they stumble about see randomly a Feuerschwanz video. So, but if it's in English, they might stick to it and then discover even more of us, and then maybe they will stay for the English. But we will see how it's going to turn out. It was a fun experience, and from an artistic point of view, as I told you earlier, it's amazing to see how the songs work in English, as you described earlier, the slightly different meaning and a slightly different sound, because English sounds different than German, although they were very related, actually, I think, English and German. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How did you guys? Okay, so you guys now have this idea. We're gonna do this album in English. When it came to choosing the songs, how was that process? Was that difficult, picking the right songs that would work with that English language?
Yeah. You need to have an idea how to translate it to make it work, because Some have been quite obvious, like Kampfzwerg, War Dwarf. That's like a direct translation, I think. Knochenkarussell to Circle Pit of Hell took a while to find the right idea how to translate it, and some songs didn't work at all, like Schubsetanz. I don't know if you know the song Schubsetanz, but even the word Schubsetanz is a made-up word in German, so that was impossible to translate. There's so many word plays in that song that it didn't work out to translate. So yeah,
Did you guys, because you guys went and took songs from the last couple of records, but did you think about going deeper into the discography and bringing some of those old classics and making them in English?
yeah. The thing is, it was a different record company back then, so it was technically easier to use the
Okay,
Napalm songs and not the previous songs actually to do.
that makes sense. That makes sense. So now not only you're converting these songs into English, you're also having some guests on some of these tracks. I mean, the dwarf one is obvious. There was only one person that you could ask to be on that track. But
Absolutely.
you know, actually, I'm going to see them in Toronto in 3 days. They're playing in Toronto in
Awesome.
3 days. Wind Roses in Toronto in 3 days. So
Say hello from
yeah,
Feuerschwanz.
I'll tell them that you said hi. So that one to me was obvious. When I was going through it, I was like, okay, like no questions asked. But what was the thought process for some of the other songs, like Chris Harms, for example, on Memento Mori?
Well, Chris Harms is a long friend of us, and it was quite obvious that sooner or later we have to do some collaboration. Maybe something even more will happen, but that's something I can't talk about yet. But
Great.
yeah, but so because both are good bands and on a comparable path in a way, and we know each other for a long time. We meet each other at festivals. I know that Ben and Chris are in contact all the time on the phone and stuff like that. So it was quite obvious that we do something like that. And then we have the singer of Dominum and from Odin Organ, and they are on tour with
Yep.
us. And the singer of Dominum is a good friend from us as well. He's living in the same area, and we know him forever already. So it was a good opportunity for us to put him on the record because he has a new band and promote him a little bit. And he's a fantastic singer as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you got Steve from Orden Ogan too, who's also amazing. And the
Absolutely.
Memento, yeah, he's great. I mean, like they also have a new album coming out. They're also on tour, so everything kind of came perfectly. But when I was listening to Memento Mori with Chris, the tone of his voice immediately adds a level of darkness that your original didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, did you notice that when you guys were putting that song together, that the song now in this English version feels a little bit more darker, for lack of a better term?
Yes, absolutely. I think that's good. I think that's why you have guests to add their own color to it. Otherwise, you just could take AI music and generate the music. But what I like about real people, because you can program so much, you can program drums, or I could play my own bass on my Dark Side of the Moon songs or whatever. But every human being adding something musically to a song adds to the overall picture, to the overall complexity of the song. It's not two-dimensional anymore, it's getting three and more dimensional. And that's all the single humans adding something. I can't describe it. Why? Because computer generated music like drum beats from, yeah, they're so good, but the human touch is something which can't be replaced. I don't know how to describe it. So every single human adding something on top of it is a new color to the song, a new tone, a new overtone in a way. So yeah, that's
I, I
why
I
it's
totally agree
good.
with you, and I thought the choice with him was great for that song because, first of all, what a great vocally the song is super strong, so dynamic, but that level of darkness for me is really interesting. And I agree with you. The two bands, I think we've discovered both bands very similar at similar times in our channel, and we've both seen the growth of both. And speaking of that growth, Lord of the Lost is going to be in North America doing their first North American tour in September. So the question is, when are you guys coming over to do it here?
I hope sooner than later, but it would be so much fun to come to North America. And I really hope sometime it will happen, but we don't have any certain plans yet. But I really want to do it because I also have relatives in North America, so it would be really fun to visit there and to play there.
Yeah, I think it would be great. And are you hoping that an album like this, being all in English, would be the catalyst? Like, let's assume that this album debuts at #1 in the German charts and high in all other places. Would that be the next thing that would elevate the band into that next level, considering of how many levels you guys have gone up already?
Yeah, I don't know about levels, but the ideally, it will open up other countries even more. I mean, we start playing this year in like festivals in Portugal and Belgium and Holland and Czech Republic. Just to name a few non-German speaking countries, we play our tour in autumn. We go to Paris, we go to Italy, we go to the Netherlands. All of them are non-German speaking countries. So hopefully this will put more attention to us in those non-German speaking countries, and obviously as well from Northern America, hopefully. Ideally, it will blow up and we will visit you next year. I don't know.
That's what I'm hoping. But you also now with this record, not just because you're celebrating 20 years and this album is that celebration, are you going to include some of these English songs now part of your set list? Like, how do you choose now? Do you do Circle Pit of Hell or do you do the original? Like,
Right.
how,
Well, in Germany, we certainly stick to the German songs, but in outside of Germany, in the non-German speaking countries, we will probably choose some English songs as well, but we don't know yet which which one to do. And I'm lucky because I'm the guitar player, so I have to just it doesn't change for me. But it must be really weird as a singer to have two versions of one song in front of a live audience because you really rely a lot on your muscle memory in a way when you're on stage, and keeping those two languages separated. That's something I'm looking forward to see from us actually.
Yeah. I think you guys could do a little bit of a hybrid, do like one verse in German, one verse in English, and
yeah, right, maybe.
I think that would be super cool as well.
Yeah, good idea actually.
I think that would be phenomenal for the fans because, like for me, like I said, even though English is my language, I still enjoy listening to the band and the original songs. I mean, this was a great album for me because it unlocked a side of the band that I didn't know it existed. But it doesn't take anything away from how much I love the German stuff. I'm still gonna go and listen to the German stuff. This was like a nice little treat, you know.
Yeah, right. That's a great description actually.
Yeah. So well, you guys, I know you guys always done like English songs is not something new. I mean, a whole record in English is, but doing English songs is not something new. So will that continue? Once in a while, you guys throw an English song in there.
Maybe it could happen. Maybe what could happen would be like having an international guest, maybe, which sings in English, and then like maybe one verse in English, one verse in German, something like that. But our main language will stay the German language.
So you guys are not selling out. Like if this record reaches #1, you guys are not going to become suddenly an all English band.
Well, never say never. But
I thought you were going to say the next time you see me, we'll be singing in English at Eurovision. So I thought that's where you were going to go with.
No, we're singing in French at Eurovision for Italy.
For Italy, yeah. Well, stranger things have happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Right.
What was her name? Celine Dion. She's Canadian, and she represented France at the at Eurovision.
Oh, she did? Oh, I didn't know.
And I think she won, actually. I think she won, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, she's an amazing singer.
Yeah. But
like
I was just
surprised
that she went and represented France at Eurovision. I just thought that was weird.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny. But you're from Canada, right?
Yeah.
But you have a French part, you know?
Yeah, Quebec, and that's where she's from. So there's that, and I'm sure she probably has some grandparents or something like that are French. I think there has to be some connection. It's not like you can randomly go sing for a country at Eurovision. So
well, originally it's the Eurovision is a songwriters competition, not a singers competition. So
oh really?
Originally, yeah. Yeah, so they have just, yeah, it's a songwriters. Originally, it changed obviously with all the media and the big shows and everything. But originally it's a songwriters competition and not a singers competition. So maybe it doesn't matter where the singer comes from as long as the songwriter is coming from that country.
I don't know. I gotta dig into that. That's news to me. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So
Are
I
you
know that
following
you're.
the Are you following the Eurovision Song Contest?
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. I mean I grew up. I was born and I grew up in Portugal. So
Ah,
I grew up with Eurovision. Being European myself, I grew up with Eurovision. Like we never did very good. Lately, we've been doing better, but when I was a kid, we were very bad. We were like the Germans of now because they always finish last. So that was
right.
Portugal. That was Portugal when I was a kid. But I grew up with the contest, and then when I came to Canada, I kind of lost track because it's not on television here, or at least it wasn't before. But last year, because Lord of the Lost was in it, and the guys from Australia were in it as well, and I really like both bands. I got into it. I actually signed up for the app. I actually voted for Lord of the Lost. Try to get them some votes. And my son and I got really into it. We watched the qualifying, like the finals. We watched everything. So
Crazy.
this year we're not missing it. We're already talking about.
Oh, cool. Oh, you're from
Uh,
Portugal. That's cool. Well, we're playing in Portugal the first time
you guys played
this
at
year.
Vagos, didn't you?
Sorry?
Vagos, was that the festival you guys played?
No, it's a new festival. Well, it's happening for the first time this year. It's near Porto, somewhere not far from
Okay,
Porto,
okay, in the north.
a
Okay.
a little bit inside the country. Yeah, looking forward to it because will be my first time to Portugal. Yeah, must be a
They're
nice
gonna
country.
treat you well, and you're gonna love it.
I hope so.
Expect to see a lot of people dancing and having a good time.
Awesome.
That's pretty much the vibe that you're gonna see there. I'm happy to see you guys there. Like I said, I'm waiting to see you guys here. But going back to that 20th anniversary of the
Right.
band, do you worry about or do you think about what the next 20 years will bring?
No, I never look that far. Doesn't make sense to look that far. It's like, well, we have the big celebration in December, like 20 years. It will be the biggest indoor show we ever did in Essen in the Grugerhalle. And it has a capacity of 7,000 people. And well, we already know what we will do next year, like a new album. And yeah, but I never look like 20 years ahead, what will happen back then. I never plan that far because plans usually don't work that far.
That is true. I'm expecting the album next year to come out either on Christmas Day or New Year's Day or on December 31st. Because
No,
it no, because it's
no.
been good luck for you guys the last couple of
I know,
records.
but it won't.
Because you guys thought outside the box. Nobody does that, and you guys did it. And the
But
albums,
now everybody's doing it.
it's true. More people are doing it now. Yeah, you guys led that path.
Right, yeah.
I just have one last thing to tell you. I yesterday I was at home with my son watching Bayer Leverkusen celebrate the Bundesliga title.
Awesome.
Uh, and I was like, this would have been a great occasion for you guys to go in there and play some songs because I felt like that was such a party vibe, such a party atmosphere. I don't know if you're a Leverkusen fan or not, but I thought it was, they've never won the Bundesliga, was such an iconic moment for them to go undefeated for the season. And
Mhm.
I honestly felt like we needed some Feuerschwanz there playing some music to help the crowd celebrate.
Yeah, I would have fit very well, I think. I would say I'm a casual football watcher. I'm not a huge fan of team that or whatever, but I really enjoy sometimes watching soccer, and they did a really great job this year, and I really enjoy watching them by Leverkusen. With Xabi Alonso, the trainer, he seems to be such a nice guy as well, and such a down to earth, and he stayed with the club and refused all the big offers now from England, and it's pretty cool. That's super cool, and I'm happy that someone else did win the championship for like 10 years of Bayern
Yeah,
Munich domination.
yeah, they won like 11 years in a row or
Or
something like
11
that.
years, yeah, right.
Yeah, because last year Dortmund lost on the last day when they had a chance to capture the title. We follow the Bundesliga at my house quite religiously. Let's put it
Oh,
that way.
really?
So yeah,
Okay.
it's one of our favorite leagues to watch. So my son and I, we watched a lot of Bundesliga.
Nice.
And my favorite team in Portugal, Benfica, they have a German coach, Roger Schmidt, who coached Bayer Leverkusen a couple of years back.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
so there's a nice connection, a
Right.
nice connection there. That's how deep our love for the Germans run. But I honestly, I was watching and I was like, man, you guys could have in the middle of the field before they bring the shield down. Like it would have been so nice to see you guys do circle pit of hell because it was really like a circle pit there. You know, everybody was there. Would have been
All right.
great.
Oh, we have a nice thing with Circuit Bit of Hell on our live shows right now because Johanna is going inside the audience and
She will.
putting on a big case, and she's playing violin, and all the audience should run around her, and it's running around her. It's super cool to watch.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing to watch. You have to watch some of the tour videos we do, which we upload on YouTube. You see it sometimes because one of the guys has a big camera and he's filming from above. It's super cool to watch.
Wow. I hope her life insurance is all paid up because all it takes is one person to hit her and everything is going to go sideways. You know?
Yeah, I think on Saturday someone did hit the case and she almost fell, but she was jumping off, so everything was fine.
Okay, good. Because you can't afford anybody to get hurt when you're playing these
No,
shows and on tour.
right.
Hans, thank you very much for your time. I honestly, since I listened to the record, I've been telling everybody how great this record is. Ben actually sent me a message thanking me for some of the comments I posted online. I cannot get enough of this record. It's such a phenomenal album. So I just really want to thank you for gracing us with this record and for taking the time to talk to me today.
Thank you. Thanks for your words and thank you for the invitation. Hope to see you soon again.
I hope to see you soon. Take care, man. All the best.
Thank you. You too.